You know what I love?
Sports.
I love sports.
Sports.
When it comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
And they embody what the school is about. It's about getting into hard situations and getting ourselves out. It's about working hard. It's about doing amazing things.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
So I was on Ryan Fowler's show yesterday in
Okay.
Tuscaloosa. That's where he is, right? I know
Yeah.
he's in Alabama,
Yeah.
Tuscaloosa. And he asked me, what game on the A&M schedule will make you feel better about taking the over in the 8.5 wins? And I think I butchered the answer, but I kind of had my thinking behind it. I'm going to allow you to look at that schedule, okay? And I don't know if you can see it from where you're standing, but Missouri State, Arizona State, Kentucky, at LSU, Arkansas, at Missouri, the Citadel, at Alabama, at South Carolina, Tennessee, at Oklahoma, Texas. I said, to me, the South Carolina game, and I'm going to tell you, and it's probably like, why would that be the game? Why not some of the other ones? It's November, a place that A&M has struggled at the end of seasons.
That's a good point.
They've struggled at South Carolina the last 2 times they were there. And to me, like, if you don't have, like, you can also say at Missouri, right? At Missouri is going to be a big one towards that number. And I hope that number is 10.5, right? Like, I hope that's where, or 9.5, we put the number there. But if 8.5 is what Vegas has it at, and I don't think there's a right or wrong answer because you got to win 9 or 10 games. But to me, I look at that South Carolina game, since it's November, since I know you have to go to Oklahoma, since you close out with Texas, and oh, by the way, Tennessee, who I don't think is going to be very good, but they are Tennessee. I think it's that at South Carolina game.
Okay.
What do you think?
He's probably wanting you to say Alabama.
Yeah.
And I can understand why that. If you said Alabama, I can understand why that, because it's still the mystique.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you a surprising answer.
What's that?
I'm going to say LSU.
Okay, early in the season.
4 games in, Lane Kiffin's the coach. They spent tons of money, like they always do, in the transfer portal. They're being hyped up.
Yeah.
I think if you beat LSU again, quite frankly, because Lane Kiffin's the coach there, I'm not sure, this might be controversial, I'm not sure if I don't look at LSU as a tougher opponent than I do Alabama. Now, I mean, both Alabama and LSU are replacing their starting quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
One of them is going to be a first-round draft choice.
Yep.
Which is a more, quote, intimidating environment, LSU.
Yeah.
I mean, Alabama's a great environment. It really is. But LSU's more intimidating. And I think Lane Kiffin, quite frankly, is probably
he's a better coach. Let me tell you why I didn't pick LSU, because I thought about it.
Right? Because A&M usually tanks, or lately have tanked after they played LSU.
Well, that's part of it. And also, it's September.
Yeah,
and for me, it's all about, like, this team can, like, during the Sumlin era, during the Jimbo era, you can get close. And then November, there's been a drop-off.
Yeah, there has.
And the schedule does get harder in November, so that's part of the reason. It's not just because...
No, I get where you're going with that.
So that's why and by the way, Alabama, if Kalen DeBoer has done what people think is a poor job at Alabama, that being said,
yes,
they won 9 games year 1.
Right.
Okay? In the new SEC, the new NIL era, post-Saban, they win a playoff. No, I don't think they... At times, they looked like one of the best teams in the country last year. And at times, they looked like a team that was 8-4. There was a weird Alabama team. But they went on the road and beat Oklahoma in the playoffs, got destroyed by Indiana, but most teams did. So I look at Bama, I'm like, I think people are overreacting because they're based on what it used to be.
I just say, and I've said this 100 times. I was on a show in Florence, Alabama yesterday, and I asked them, I said, you tell me why Alabama is better or as good as they were last year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got this guy coming in, and we got to see what right, you got to see. But you're going to take Caden Proctor, their center, Brailsford off. Horton's here.
Yep. Ty Simpson.
Ty Simpson's no longer your quarterback. Lost some guys on defense too. Formby's here. He started for you.
Yep.
I'm sure they got a better running back. I like Jan Miller because he's from Tyler.
Right.
But he wasn't the guy that you worried about. He's good at pass protection. So I can understand that there's going to be some areas where they're better, but overall, why are they going to be as good or better than last year? And quite frankly, they were fortunate to win 9 games. If you'll go back and look at the game
South Carolina and LSU.
South Carolina, LSU, and even Missouri.
Yeah. Oh.
And Vanderbilt, I think, was a real close game for them again.
Nick, I don't think you've made schedules for all the teams next year. Do you have Alabama's next year schedule? You do? Can you put that up? I'm trying to remember. They either have a super easy schedule or super hard schedule. Everybody in the SEC's got a hard schedule. The first half of the season, they may lose 1 game.
And you know what? Now, I should have said this when I thought about it and then I didn't say it. When you asked me what's the game that's going to make you feel better, I said, yeah, I'd like to know the records of that team when you play. If Alabama's undefeated or one-loss team when A&M plays them, then Alabama's the answer.
Right. Well, I look at that schedule, and I don't know if you can see it, OB. East Carolina, at Kentucky, Florida State, South Carolina, at Mississippi State, Georgia, at Tennessee.
Did we ever consider the possibility of taking that monitor there and moving it like a foot to the left so I can actually see it? Just a crazy thought. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I would, even with their issues that I think they may have, who was that before Tennessee?
Georgia.
Okay.
Hosting Georgia.
Yeah, they're losing that one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I could see very much that's 6-1 or whatever.
Yeah. And then the second half of the season, but when A&M plays them, but put it back up, Nick, if you don't mind. Do you see 3 losses? Because then the other half of the season is Texas A&M. I'm going to pick A&M today.
Okay.
Okay, just today.
Okay.
At LSU.
Okay.
That's, I'm probably going to pick LSU right now.
If everybody, the whole Lane Kiffin effect, let's see.
That's 3 losses right there if this is how it plays out. At Vanderbilt, I'm going to pick Alabama right now.
Yeah, I would too. I would always. I don't care what the situation is. I'm taking Alabama over Vanderbilt. But I'm telling you, I got a guy who's a Vanderbilt insider.
Who loves their quarterback, huh?
Loves him.
Yeah.
Loves him. So
the freshman. Chattanooga, Auburn. I mean,
Auburn's talking a lot of.
But that's every year.
Yeah.
That's every year. I look at that. I'm like, they could easily be an 8-4 team. They might, but that's a pretty relatively simple-ish SEC schedule in this world.
It's funny that it's come to that you can play Georgia on the road at LSU, play A&M, and of course their game against Auburn, and it could be and even throw quote Florida State in there as a non-conference team and say it's pretty simple-ish.
Well, Florida State took care of business last year, but
they're losing this year.
Yeah,
Alabama's going to beat them and probably beat them bad.
So I look at that on both teams.
I'm never saying Alabama's bad.
No,
I'm just saying why would they be as good or better than last year? And I just can't see it.
So after breaking down their schedule, breaking down A&M's schedule, is your answer still LSU? The difference between to go over the 8.5?
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just foolishly buying into the hype, the Lane Kiffin hype. I mean, he's still not going to go out there and actually play.
Right.
But I've seen him and his play calling and the chances he takes. It seems like every time he takes a chance against A&M, it works out.
Yeah.
I'm talking about a fake punt from his own 16-yard line.
I remember that, yeah.
Of course, we got better coaching than we had then.
Mm-hmm.
But I just know that Lane Kiffin has vexed A&M so many times.
Yeah. Considering that, right? I mean, I'm saying A&M's beating Arizona State early on. I don't know enough about Arizona State. I'll get an insider on soon. We'll learn all about them. But they're going to look different, okay?
Yeah.
I like their coach.
I have to give my friend Chris Cartman a call.
All right, we'll get Cartman on. But I have to lean more on the second half of the season for us to get to that number just because of and there's, as I mentioned at the top of the show, there's not a right answer, right? The right answer is just win your games. That's the right answer.
Yeah, if you said Alabama, like Ryan Fowler wanted you to, that's legitimate.
If you win one of your 3 hardest road games, okay? Your 3 hardest road games is going to Norman, going to Baton Rouge, and going to Alabama. I would say those are the 3 hardest.
Allegedly.
Okay.
I mean, all of a sudden I heard that Missouri and LSU were easy road games last year.
Yeah.
I'm like, that didn't seem like they were easy to me.
But based on what we know today, would you say those are the 3 hardest? And then.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
And
I mean, you go to South Carolina, you got 5 road games, right? Oklahoma, LSU, South Carolina, Missouri, and somebody else. Alabama, LSU.
Yeah.
You go to Oklahoma,
South Carolina,
and Missouri.
There you go. 5.
Those are some tough road games.
They're pretty hard road games.
They're all tough in the SEC. Ask Texas. They went to Florida thinking, okay, we're going to mail this one in, and got their butts kicked.
If I told you you're going 3-2 in those 5 road games,
okay. 3-2.
Would you take it?
I would feel really good about where I'm going because, I think you're going to win your home games. And then, 10-2 is very possible because it's time to pay back those.
It's time to.
But
if you do lose one home game, you're 9-3 with that schedule, with the change at offensive line. I don't want 9-3, just for everybody knows. I hope that's the floor for this program moving forward.
The injury at linebackers got me a little concerned, and I know you feel the same way. I know where you're going with that, but my thinking is this team can be as good as last year's was. So I'm not accepting. So my answer is no, because I'm going for 5-0. I'm like Hawaii. I'm Hawaii 5-0.
All right, but that's optimistic, Olin. But what's realistic, Olin, thinking?
5-0.
Okay, I'll take that.
Now, you said realistic. I think that's realistic. Now, am I predicting it?
What are you predicting?
I'll go in the middle.
3-2.
I'll say 4-1.
Okay, you're predicting?
Yeah, somewhere along the lines, maybe somebody's playing over their head. Maybe A&M's not playing to their ability. That happens. No road game in the SEC is easy. Witness Auburn 2 years ago. So I'll give them a mulligan.
How many games are going to come down to the wire?
Almost all of them.
Yeah.
In the SEC.
Through the wire, Kanye. Yeah, I agree.
Almost all of them. I think in the fourth quarter, look, now, if A&M cleans up some things, like the Auburn game shouldn't even been a concern, right? And it was, right? So things are going to happen. But, yeah, we say it all the time. It's the SEC. It ain't supposed to be easy. If you wanted it to be easy, you should have stayed in the Big 12.
Yeah.
And they don't. They don't want it to be easy.
I want it to be medium hard.
Understand what you're getting into.
I like medium hard. It's not super hard, but
it's like getting
hard.
married, right?
That's hard.
If you knew if you just wanted it to be easy, if you wanted life to be easy, then you just stay single and you don't have to worry about them, don't have kids. But if you'll accept that there's going to be some difficulty along the way, but the rewards are so much greater.
The payoff is so good when it works, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but let's go with semi-hard, but not super hard schedules. Like that's just what I prefer. Hard enough that people don't question your schedule, but easy enough to win all your games. That's what I want. Indiana.
I want to be. I want to be Indiana.
I would love to be last year's Indiana.
Yes, I want to be this year's Indiana.
You think this year's Indiana's going to be
great? I want to be this year's version of Indiana.
Last year's Indiana. Yeah. This is TexAgs Live. I bet you knew that.
I did know.
We are presented by who?
We're David Gardner's Jewelers.
In the what?
The Rollo Insurance Studio.
And the hour is the what?
The Go Hour.
Presented by the who?
The Warehouse at CC Creation.
That's like a quiz. And we're sitting where?
In the Holistic Planning Cool Zone.
And if you want to be a part of the conversation, what?
You can call us at the Puppies Catering and Bartending Hotline.
And that number is what?
979-693-1150.
And if you want to text the show, what can you do?
You can text us at the Catalyst Pure Performance Energy text line. Same number, 979-693-1150.
How much?
They call us and let's see what those clowns are going to do today.
We are a bunch of clowns. We go around the room. We go left to right. We go behind the glass. We say hi to Nick Savage.
I didn't really like that intro. Can we retire that one?
No.
No.
Okay.
No,
You're the boss.
Nick being a producer and being so good, and he has a great future as a play-by-play guy. He's starting to get a little bit uppity.
Yeah, he's like, no, we're going to do it my way.
Full of himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to do it my way. He's Frank Sinatra over there.
Yeah.
I guess so.
All right, New York.
Hey, for the swing games, I guess that would take it from 8-5 or above. I'm kind of giving you a Billy answer here. I'm going to give you 3 different options. I think it's those 3 road games on the right side. It's one of the 3 road games on the right side of the schedule: Alabama, South Carolina, or Oklahoma. If you win one of those games, I feel good about getting over that 8.5 win total.
Should be. Now think about it. It probably is South Carolina because they're going to be a playoff team.
Playoff. Shane Beamer, good friend of the show. Nick, anything else going on with you, buddy?
Not really. I'll talk a little baseball. I'll give you a little baseball note. How about that? RPI of the remaining SEC opponents for A&M. It's not going to get any easier. It's probably the toughest stretch the Aggies will see all year. They got Florida this weekend. They are 12th in the RPI. Then they got Auburn here at Bluebell Park the weekend after. They are 4th in the RPI. Then they go to Ole Miss, 7th in the RPI, and host Mississippi State to close out the year. They are 18th in the RPI. So all top 20 RPI. A&M is 7th, by the way. So it's going to be tough, but we've seen them deal with highly ranked teams before. So not too worried about it.
If you want to be a great team, you got to be great teams or good teams.
Yeah. I'd like to be a great team.
Then that's what it's going to take.
Yeah. Okay, so
it's not a semi-hard schedule.
I like semi-hard-ish, but I just don't want people to talk about it later.
Just go win.
Just go win.
Beat the tough teams, and then that's how you become a great team. You don't become a great team by beating the average teams.
Well, I also don't mind having an easy schedule in the playoffs. I want the easiest path. I know that no game is easy in the playoffs, but matchups to line up correctly.
I would have preferred in that first round to play Tulane.
Yes, that's all I'm asking.
Or the other one.
James Madison. Yeah, I would have preferred that.
Yes.
Yeah. And then who would you want in the next round? Texas Tech.
Okay.
And that's not a shot at Tech.
Well, they did lose to Oregon.
Yeah.
And so, okay.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. Maybe Ole Miss, but Ole Miss was playing great.
Should have beat Miami, though.
Yeah. Hey, let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Kayla Gaither in the house.
Hello, guys. How are y'all?
How are you? It's a softball Wednesday, Kayla.
It's a softball Wednesday, and I'm so excited because...
How many straight wins? 9?
9 wins in a row for the Aggie softball team. They're coming off a sweep of Mississippi State this past weekend. On Saturday, there was a shutout. A&M shut out Mississippi State 4-0. And Sydney Lessentine got her first SEC shutout of her career, so that was pretty cool. This weekend, A&M softball will be traveling to South Carolina, and then next weekend, they will be playing Oklahoma here at Davis. So big stuff for softball. There's 2 weekends left until the postseason.
Are they? What's been the chatter recently about them potentially hosting?
It's looking a little bit rocky just because they have 12 losses, and they still have 2 SEC series to play. Every team ahead of them has less losses in the RPI. They're 11th in the RPI, so they just need to jump up to that 8th spot. If they win out, there's no doubt that they could jump up to that 8th spot, but it's looking a little rocky just because every SEC team is really good this year. So
is South Carolina next?
South Carolina's next.
And they're ranked, right? They're 24th,
yes,
I think.
They're 24th.
So got to go take care of business.
Yeah, got to go take care of business.
Yeah. Well, some of the teams in front of them are probably facing some tough opponents, and maybe the right teams will lose.
Hopefully
if A&M gets lucky enough, they definitely could jump up to that 8th spot, so not out of the question.
Good stuff. What else do you have for us?
Well, the A&M volleyball team visited the White House yesterday. President Donald Trump recognized Logan Lednicki and Kendall Stowers and the entire A&M volleyball team for winning the 2025 national championship. He said the level of talent is incredible and you were the best of the best. From the opening serve to the final point of the national championship, the Aggies played with heart and determination. They dominated the tournament, sweeping top seed Kentucky to claim the program's first national title.
What a cool experience.
Yeah, that is. You know what? No matter who the president is, I mean, even if that person that was before, or there's been a lot of presidents I don't like, but if you get a chance to go to the White House and you don't have to respect the guy, even though I respect the current one. I don't know if you know that, but even if you don't, you respect the position.
I respect America.
Hey, Kay did a great job reporting on that, by the way. She's been telling me all morning she has to be called the TexAgs White House correspondent now. I'm not buying in for it, but she got Senator Ted Cruz to retweet one of her tweets. So Kay killing it on the volleyball beat. Not surprising.
Go do news, Kay. Let's put you on the White House beat.
Yeah, why didn't they invite you to come along with them, Kay?
I think it was pretty quickly put together, at least when we found out. But she's done an amazing job with all the sports.
She knew about it. That's all we'll say. She knew about it well before everyone else did.
Of course she did. Well, she told us.
Yeah.
I think she told us off air.
Great honor.
Maybe on air, too. But she definitely told us off air. All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back, and I got a couple of different things to throw out at you. And then at 8:35, John Scheschuk joining the program.
Okay.
Talk a little Aggie baseball. I want to do a reverse of 1775 order, okay?
Reverse order. So
I'm going to start with desserts.
5771.
Well played. No, I want to start with their desserts.
Okay.
I remember that first time we went there. Yeah. I was, you know me, I'm not a dessert guy. And they brought us a dessert, and I was just going to have a bite.
Right. I remember that. I'm trying to remember what it was.
It was delightful.
It was amazing.
Yeah. And was it a cheesecake?
Yes.
Yeah. And I remember not having just a bite. I remember 3/4 of it being in my stomach.
And for him to eat dessert, for me to eat dessert, look, I'm like a hog. You just slap it in there, and I'm going to eat it like, slopping the hog. But for him to eat dessert, it has to be something special because, he watches those calories. He said, I don't care about the calories. I'm diving in.
I dove into it. And this is after I had protein galore.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
protein palooza.
I like that. Protein palooza.
The double P's.
Yeah.
Like PPE, but just 2 PP.
Yeah. Because.
Never mind.
Because you had that succulent brisket.
Yeah.
And you had at least one of those amazing pork ribs.
I did have.
We got the sample.
I got more than one. I think I was stealing yours.
Yeah, we got the jalapeno cheese sauce.
We got that too.
You had some of the turkey, even some of the pulled pork. All that came on the sampler. We had it all. And quite frankly, I was so full, I didn't think I could eat anything else because we also had the queso mac and cheese.
We had the queso. We had it all.
We had it all.
We had the entire menu.
And then they brought us some dessert.
Yeah.
And we kept eating.
I told Andrew Monaco I'm taking him there soon. So the voice gets to eat the food.
He's the voice of the Aggies.
And they are the food of the Aggies.
I'm the stomach of TexAgs.
This is true. I don't know if that's rude or not. I just love OB. So there we go. 1775txbbq.com is the website. The phone number is 979-492-6241. It is 1775.
And it's good.
Hey everyone, David Nuño here of TexAgs Live. I want to introduce you to the team at Holistic Planning. Got Jason Barber here, Taylor Pankratz, and also Paul Meredith. Jason, I want to start off with you. What really sets Holistic Planning apart from the others?
Yeah, so what makes us different is most financial advisors stop at investment management. On the other hand, Holistic Planning, we manage investments, taxes, and estate planning all on one team, all underneath one roof.
Now, Taylor, when everything is coordinated like that, it really helps the bottom line, doesn't it?
It really does. When your investments and taxes are working together, you stop leaving money on the table and keep more of what's yours.
Paul, Holistic Planning is trying to expand as well.
That's true. We just opened our Houston office, and we're looking for people who feel like their advisor isn't seeing the full picture, because that's exactly what we fix.
And Jason, there's other opportunities beyond that.
Definitely. If you're a financial advisor and you want to join the Holistic Planning team, we're looking to add 50 teams in the next 5 to 10 years. So check out holisticplanning.com/advisors.
All right, so if you want a team that actually coordinates everything, go to holisticplanning.com. Aggies, this one is worth it. And we are back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We're in the Rollo Insurance Studio. It is the Go Hour, presented by The Warehouse at CC Creations, hanging out at the Holistic Planning Cool Zone. OB, I'm going to bring up a topic. It's a couple days old, but you and I haven't discussed it.
Okay.
And I want to give you my thoughts on it.
All right.
And have you seen this little back and forth between Bryant Haynes, the Indiana defensive coordinator, and Ty Simpson?
I have not.
Okay. So Ty Simpson went on a podcast, and he was paying a compliment to Indiana.
Okay.
But the defensive coordinator from Indiana took offense to it. This is what he said, all right? They do the same thing on every down. So when I got the ball, this Ty Simpson on them in the playoffs, I knew exactly what was going to happen. They just didn't mess up, bro. They were in the exact spot they were supposed to be. They were so well coached.
This guy's going to be upset at that?
Well, he was upset about it. And I think maybe the fact that they do the same thing every time. Like, he wanted to hear what he wanted to hear. So Brian Haynes tweets out, and there was a couple other tweets, but this is what he tweets out back at Ty Simpson. Adorable. We also saw everything they were doing on every single snap. It's just that we exploited those cues, and they didn't get frozen, and they got crushed by them. So here's where I'm going to go with it. I don't like it, but I love it. The Nuñoism. And let me tell you why. Okay. Why I don't like it is, like, don't be petty. The guy's paying you respect.
You just told them how well coached they are.
Right?
He gave you a compliment.
This is why I like it, though. I think the best competitors in the world choose something to piss them off. Okay? And sometimes it's a look. Michael, Kobe, Cristiano, all these guys, they all have something similar in their DNA that they take great offense. And sometimes you have to fabricate. And one thing I've learned about Cignetti is that he believes the world is against him, even now that he's on top. So if I'm in that building and I'm like, these fools think that what we do is basic, we just do it well. Like, even though to us it sounds ridiculous, I think you can sell that kind of messaging in your locker room.
Maybe, but when you mentioned Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, I'm saying, yeah, they're actually out there playing.
Yeah, this is true.
And if you're a defensive coordinator, I mean, I don't know, the guy's probably in his 40s. Maybe not. I don't know.
He's young looking, yeah.
Okay, maybe he's in his 30s. And you're talking, getting pissed off by a 21-year-old guy that actually complimented you. I think you makes him look buffoonish.
If I said to you, you know what, Olin Buchanan's writing is nothing spectacular, but it's straight to the point, and it gets really, like, I really learn when I read his stuff. Would that bother you?
No. But if you said Olin Buchanan sucks and he can't write to save his life, that wouldn't bother me either, because I've been doing this too long to let anything bother me. But you know what? A coach should be in a situation where, it's not going to bother me, especially when the guy's saying, man, these guys are really well coached. And I think there's a lot of truth to that if you're just in the right place all the time. Yeah. How many times do you see a game decided or a touchdown given up because the guys are in the wrong bust of coverage?
Right.
If you're in the right place, 90% of the time you're gonna make the play. If you're lined up correctly, if you're in the right place in coverage, or what's the issue we keep hearing for A&M last year?
So
on defense, what was the issue?
Big plays.
But what was the word we kept hearing?
Misfits.
Misfits.
Yeah.
If you're not missing the fits, if you're being where you're supposed to be, A&M might have been playing Indiana.
Yeah, this is true.
So I just don't get why, as a adult college football coach, that you would feel the need to go back at it. Probably a 21-year-old guy that actually complimented you.
So two things. I want to go back to the misfits thing for a second, but I'm gonna go. So I hope you understand what I mean, though. Like, I don't like it, but I see how you can sell it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I'm more. I'll buy into that more if you're actually on the field playing.
The other thing, if I told you A&M was 50% better at the misfits just last year, 50% better. Okay. Do they beat Texas? Do they beat Miami?
Wait, you're saying next year?
No, this past year. If we replayed it, and like, I don't know, Loki or somebody from the Marvel's world puts a spell on an A&M, and 50% of the time on those bad plays was in the right position. Do they beat Texas? Do they beat Miami?
Well, if you tell me that 50% includes stopping Mark Fletcher for like a 2-yard gain, a 3-yard gain on the
for the big,
if that's one,
yep.
then I'm thinking, yeah, they probably do. I was thinking, look, get a stop here like you have been all day, punt, you get the ball somewhere close to midfield, make a couple first downs, kick a field goal maybe, and win the game.
So we talk. I believe A&M lost the Texas game in the trenches.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but those trenches included misfits and big runs that they were able to do, especially in the second half.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they win because the offensively A&M struggled in that game, especially in the second half.
I think if they, with where you're going with that, okay, I think actually, in my opinion, the Miami game was more winnable than the Texas game based on what
I'm talking about.
What you're talking about, because to me, one of the biggest differences in that Texas game wasn't necessarily. I mean, look, there were some big runs, no doubt. Wisner's was always a problem for A&M, but was Arch's scrambling.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think the misfit things
played a role in that. Yeah, and the offense struggled.
Yeah. The offense struggled
the last 2 games.
They did, but there were opportunities against Miami. They just didn't capitalize.
Yep. All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back, talk to John Scheschuk, a little baseball on the other side. Let's talk a little Rollo insurance. Those kind of insurance decisions, you don't want to make them quickly, and you don't want the person making decisions for you on your behalf doing them quickly. That's why you get the Rollo Insurance Group that take time to understand your entire situation, and they're going to help you understand what you're buying, the why behind it. They have expertise in just about everything from home to auto to business to specialty coverage, and their independent agents provide options tailored to your specific need. They take time to explain the policy in plain language and in details, ensuring you're never left wondering about your coverage. And their educational approach empowers you to make informed decisions about your future when it comes to insurance. Visit rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs. That is rolloinsurance.com/TexAgs, or call them up, 888-44-ROLLO. That is 888-44-ROLLO.
I'm Wes Mangan, and I live on a piece of property with my wife and 2 boys and several animals. I work in oil and gas, and I travel a lot, and so when I come home, it's like my sanctuary. I get to see Lauren and the boys, and it's been just a perfect fit for us, and it's really improved our family time. And this is the first land I'd ever purchased, so dealing with the land side of things and dealing with Capital Farm Credit was super easy for us through the whole process. I definitely feel like with Capital Farm Credit, together we are better.
Ola, when you hear that song, what do you think about?
Changing the station.
This is John Scheschuk's theme music.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If he were a wrestler, Fat Pat's Tops Drop would be the song. Fat Pat.
Is he a wrestler?
He's a rapper.
I was just thinking.
No longer with
I was
us.
looking at John Scheschuk's name. I'm sure he's listening. But I was looking at John Scheschuk's name on the monitor that I can barely see.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, his name, his spelling is closer to Krzyzewski than Krzyzewski's spelling was to Krzyzewski.
This is true. And with that, we talked to John Scheschuk, the rapper extraordinaire. What's up, Mr. Scheschuk?
Gentlemen, how we doing? I love it when Fat Pat is in the building. He does win championships, David, and that goes back to 1999 and Cordell Lindsay. So that's where that started. That
song, if it played at any place,
okay, I got to know why.
J.D. Wells. Oh my gosh,
was that really your walk-up song?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, if you were a wrestler.
Oh, okay. Okay, I thought you were saying. I was going to say why. What was your walk-up song?
I think they played Big John. I think they.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
John Byington. Yeah, well, that was really Byington's song, but somehow, some way, that got shoehorned back into my walk-up song.
It probably had something to do with the fact your name's John.
Could be too. So.
Hey, speaking of old times, were you a J.D. Wells guy, Barracuda Bar guy? Where were you back in the late 90s?
Yeah, the tap was frequented, and then it spilled over into J.D. Wells. That happened a time or two.
We were playing a lot of Pat.
And also, the ptarmigan. Actually, there's a famous story about Mark Johnson here, and that the ptarmigan got burned down when there was some A&M baseball players in it, and that actually might have even been posted on TexAgs at the very beginning of TexAgs, and it was a big hoax. But nonetheless, it was pretty funny after the hoax. After we got chewed, it was a pretty funny bit.
Well, OB,
one of those flaming Dr. Peppers got out of control.
Yeah, this may surprise you. I had a few too many flaming Dr. Peppers at the PTAR back in the 90s.
That shocks me.
Hey, Scheschuk, let's talk a little about this Aggie baseball team, and obviously another rough road series going to Florida, but the way they're playing, man, just kind of talk about the LSU sweep, the Texas 2-game sweep, and the way they're trending in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, of course, the last 2 weekends have been awesome, just seeing them perform at a high level against, traditional powerhouses. And, A&M is in that category, too, for sure. And to me, yes, the players are doing their thing, and that's ultimately what happens to win, what has to happen to win. But it's more about Mike's development as a manager and that staff and what they're doing to prepare these guys that I see. Just such a huge changeover from year one to year two for Mike Early, and just his confidence. And to me, that's the most exciting thing as a fan of this program for many, many years, to see Coach Early come into his own right in front of our eyes and get a couple big series wins, which is great.
Yeah, as a guy that can hit the ball, I want to ask you I got two questions, and first was pretty basic. Your thoughts on what it must be like, to play in a hitting lineup like A&M has. And then, if you were the coach, I'm going to make you the manager or the coach. Where would you bat Jorian Wilson in the order?
Well, I think the first part about the order, I was fortunate enough, Olin, to play on a team in 99 that I don't know statistically how we matched up against these guys. I think these guys are probably better just from a length perspective. But we had some thumpers in there, and we had guys that could hit it out of the park. We had guys that could get on base. We had big offensive production. And let me tell you what, that makes it a lot of fun, to answer your question directly. And I think this lineup with the length, and we can go right into the Jorian Wilson conversation now, is so dangerous. It truly is a national championship type lineup. And that's not hyperbole, excuse me. That's real. They're that good. But as it relates to your question about Jorian, I like where he is. Of course, he has the tools to be a middle-of-the-order guy, but I think you just leave him down there in that 6 or 7 spot, wherever he's comfortable, and just continue to allow him to grow, continue to allow him to add depth to that lineup. And, man, that kind of thunder that far down in the lineup is lethal, and we're seeing that on display these past few weekends.
Early in the season, when they were having some rough games, and they haven't had many rough games this year, the talk was about the pitching staff. Like, the pitching staff recently has been really good. Aiden Sims has been phenomenal all season long. Weston Moss is his last outing was fantastic. Just what is different pitching wise, you think, here over the last month?
To me, it's confidence. I mean, that is the game. That's any sport. But I don't see any, astronomical changes that have been done to these pitchers other than confidence. Now, I will say this about Sadeo, too. I think Sadeo, we're going to continue to get the better version of him, guys, as this season goes on. I mean, the guy's still coming off arm injury. He's not up to the velocity level that he once was. But I think with every mile per hour tick up that he can get as this season progresses, he's going to become that much, tougher of a pitcher for opponents. And he's got that DNA that we've all seen on display. And I think as his arm strength grows and he continues to get more confidence in his physical ability, you'll see that translate. Aiden Sims has the stuff. We've all known that all year long. I heard Coach Early's interview the other day with you, David, and y'all talked about how he had Friday night stuff from the get-go. And so you're just seeing him grow in confidence, too. And then Weston Moss, he's always been good. I think early on just transitioning to that weekend starter role and really becoming the guy, instead of out of the bullpen, becoming a guy on the weekend, there is some learning curve to that. And we're seeing Weston do really well in that later in the season. So they're set up from a starter's perspective. And, of course, they have Fresh Corn coming out of the pen and Lyons coming out of the pen. So all of a sudden that staff is rounding out and it's matching up with a lineup and a defensive team that really is solid all the way around.
Well, that was actually my next question. I was going to say, hey, John, we've talked about this powerful lineup. We've talked about the improving pitching. But as an accomplished infielder, how would you critique or what would be your evaluation of, the defense, especially let's talk about the infield?
Yeah, I mean, of course, Grahovac coming over to first base has been huge. You guys have talked about that a lot. The two freshmen on the left side have come in and done good things. I know they have a few more errors than the rest, but that's to be expected for being a freshman, number one, and then number two, playing on the left side of that defense in a hostile league like the SEC. You're going to kick it around a little bit. But I think I saw they're fielding around 980, which is championship level. So to answer your question directly, I think that goes back to coaching too. I mean, you look at Cliff coming in on that staff, and immediately you've seen that infield play improve, and the decision-making, the fundamentals, and the execution have all been there. So, and I think Gavin has a lot to do with that. I mean, Gavin's a vacuum over there, and as a guy who's played a lot of first base in my lifetime, I know how important it is to dig balls in dirt for those infielders. I know how important it is to have a presence over there just from a confidence perspective for your defense. So you got Cliff, you've got these new guys really forming up into solid players, and you got a seasoned veteran in Gavin over there at first base that's sweeping everything up, and that combination's leading to that 980 fielding percentage.
I got to tell you, I heard the book on Hakopian was a big hitter, but maybe you got to give some away on defense for his bat, and yet I've been very impressed with the defensive performance at second base.
Yeah, I questioned that early when I saw him play. I thought the same thing. I said, man, is this guy just going to be an offensive guy? And, pleased to say that that's not the case. And I know he's got pro ball aspirations. And, of course, to play at that level, you got to be complete in all areas. But you're right. He's done a good job there, too. And, shoot, you can't field 980 as a team and have any weak links. So I think the Aggies are doing a pretty solid job in every single defensive position they have right now.
John, we appreciate it, brother. Thanks so much for making a few minutes, and we'll catch you at the PTAR soon.
Good talking to you guys. Y'all have a great day, and gig 'em Aggies.
Gig 'em. That's John Scheschuk there on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline.
I just can't envision David Nuño sitting at the Ptarmigan Club drinking flaming Dr. Peppers.
Buddy.
Any kind of Dr. Pepper, especially one with alcohol in it.
Back in the day, I was a different person. I'll just say that.
I understand.
Have you seen some of the pictures of my nightlife? Oh, I'm going to, one day I'll share some pictures. My rapper phase and the silk shirt phase.
Gotta see
the frosted tips phase. Yeah. The two loop earrings phase in 1996. Oh, yeah. 94.
I had a frosted flakes phase.
Yeah, well.
I never really got out of it, but they're great.
They're great. That was good. You know what else is great?
What?
This is how I segue.
It was a nice segue.
Yeah. The Daily Company. Because nobody likes being hot and their air conditioning not working well, right?
That's true.
And nobody likes being super cold. Let's be honest. We don't like it. We want our heater to work, right?
Want the heater to work when it's cold and want the air conditioner to work when it's hot.
Your HVAC system, OB, in this city, in this state, is a necessity.
Oh, I know it.
Yep. And the Daily Company is a locally owned and operated company, and they take real pride in serving and surviving.
And
our
surviving,
community.
too.
Surviving, too. HVAC departments provide comprehensive service, including repair, maintenance, and full system installation. So they'll take care of you if your AC stops working or isn't working good enough. The Daily Company, they stand behind their work, and they treat every home like it's their very own. Contact the Daily Company at 979-2060-2020. That's 979-260-2020. Stay comfortable year-round with a local team that you can trust. Visit them at GoDaily.com and experience the daily difference.
At Brazos Valley Floor & Design, the Morrow family has helped Bryan College Station homeowners remodel with confidence for over 25 years, backed by the Adore Your Floor guarantee.
When you're ready to update a kitchen, refresh a living room, or renovate the whole house, come see the latest in flooring, from designer carpet to laminate, luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, and tile.
We're 2 generations, hands-on from design to installation.
Brazos Valley Floor & Design, best floor and design since 1999.
And that's a promise.
Obie reminded me today is what?
Wayavetta Wednesday.
Wayavetta Wednesday.
It's not a true Wayavetta, but it's close enough.
It's in the family. They're a distant cousin.
Yeah.
A close cousin.
I feel like I should be smoking a big Cuban cigar with this.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though I don't smoke cigars.
Neither do I, Obie. I'm sure you're...
That's shocking to me.
Luke Evangelist, I'm going to read it.
Smoking cigars and drinking mojitos all the time.
So many cigars. It's about time. This is what he tweeted a few minutes ago. It's about to be a really fun week to be a fan of Texas A&M basketball. Eyeballs. Okay. More to it.
Okay.
Morning Vibes Index has never been higher.
Oh.
Never been higher? Ever. Okay.
Ever.
Come join the most active portal thread with over 500,000 views as we have all the A&M info that you need on the premium boards. Now, that part is for sure.
Mm-hmm.
He's been all over it. He's got the intel, and the others don't, guys. Just telling you, they don't got it. Luke's got it on lock. So, but the Morning Vibes Index has never been higher.
Morning Vibes. So he knows some information. Someone called him and let him know, hey, we're probably going to get a commitment from this player, and it must be somebody really good.
I hope so. Whatever it is, it's when Luke is happy, that means good things are happening in basketball, and when Luke is sad, really bad things are happening in basketball.
Yeah. Luke.
He's a roller coaster of emotions.
He is.
I am too, but in a different way, right?
I think Luke almost is an internal optimist, though, until it.
And then it's a funeral.
Yeah.
It's straight to the funeral.
Mardi Gras or funeral.
Yeah. It's like, let's have beads and show me your pride, or the opposite.
Yeah.
Or, you know what? I'm going to wear black, I'm going to look goth, and I'm going to hate life.
I've seen both. I've seen both
then what am
sides
I?
of him. You are an emotional roller coaster.
In a different way, though.
And it changes from like play to play.
Yeah. I could be Tony Montana, like I'm just, say hello to my little friend.
Yeah.
Or
Tony Montana after he just got,
I'll bury those
killed.
cockroaches.
Yeah, after the guy came up behind him and shot him.
Yeah. He's still fighting, though. Fighting till the end.
You're either Tony Montana with the bazooka or you're Tony Montana laying face down in the fountain.
And it happens within seconds.
Yeah, well, it did for Tony Montana.
All right. Thank you, OB.
You're welcome.
When we come back on TexAgs Live, John Harris. It's draft week, guys. Let's talk about the draft. How many Aggies are being drafted? 15?
The under-over of what? Shereen said 9 on the under-over?
Yeah,
she said she might take the over?
Well, I want 15.
10! Freaking 10!
We'll be back.
Who did?
We're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. It's time to take over some football talk with the NFL Draft starting tomorrow. FootballTakeover.com founder and our dear friend, John Harris, Houston Texans sideline reporter, joining us on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Johnny, good morning, buddy.
Good morning, David. How you doing?
I'm good. You pumped about tomorrow?
Sure. Yeah, I'm probably more pumped that all the, as they say, the hay would be in the barn. But I love draft day. But there's a lot of work that goes from my side that go into it, especially when your business is built on the draft. So I am actually currently, I've already put up a couple of them, but I'm doing draft boards for every single team in the NFL. So I'm doing them by division. So I've got the NFC North up and the NFC South up, and I'm working on the NFC West and NFC East a little later today. But they'll all be up before the draft. So if you got a favorite team and you're like, oh, what does John think the priorities should be for this team, players they could look at in this draft? So go check that out, footballtakeover.com. So got a lot of that, finishing up my draft database for everybody to dive into. It'll have draft scouting reports for God knows how many guys. And yeah, it's time. I'd like to know the number of words I've actually written this draft season, if you will. It's probably an absurd number, because I know that just one of my draft board articles is like 25 pages. So you'll have 8 of them. So that's 200 right there in just NFL teams and their draft needs alone.
Talking to Johnny Harris here on TexAgs Live. Johnny, I'm going to ask you about a guy that I don't even know if you've done a lot of prep on him, but I'm just going to ask you about E.J. Smith, a guy that I don't know if he's going to get drafted or not, but one of my favorite dudes to kind of watch his growth at A&M, and I'm going to kind of give you the backstory behind it. When he got to A&M, I was super excited about him. I didn't realize that he was injured his first year here, and it took a while for him to get going. And when he got going, I was like, man, this guy's got something. And last year, he became such a reliable option for them, such a nice young man. You would have never known he was the son of an NFL Hall of Famer, just an amazing dude. I want him to play in the pros because I think he's willing to do everything from special teams to run the ball, just to be a good teammate. When you see EJ, does he have an NFL future?
I think for all the reasons you just mentioned, David, above and beyond, what kind of player he is, you get your opportunity. If you're going to be a day 3 guy or an undrafted free agent, you get your opportunity if you stay healthy, and there's nothing you can, you just prep your body as best you possibly can, which you have to avoid the soft tissue stuff. But, if you go into a game and you break a hand because you get hit on a tackle, there's nothing you can do about that. But you can avoid soft tissue stuff. So if you stay healthy, you have a great understanding of how the business works. You don't get discouraged. The fact that you get waived and then you're on a practice squad. I think James Harrison is probably the best example. Now, Harrison was not those things that you talked about. Harrison was ornery. He was always pissed off. He was just not a happy guy. And that never changed. But what he never did was give up on himself. James Harrison, people think is a borderline Hall of Famer. He was waived by the Pittsburgh Steelers 4 times. He was waived, I think, by the Browns once before he actually stuck with the Steelers. And so with EJ, I think the thought is, his dad's Emmett. He probably thinks that, everything is handed to him. But if he has a down-to-earth work ethic and he is coachable, and as you said, the improvement in college matters. But if you are willing to play special teams, and David, I can't tell you the number of players that show up in an NFL building and then they're put on special teams and they get angry about it and they pout. Those guys are out of the league in a year. I'll give you a great example. There was a 2nd-round pick the Texans had back in give the year. But the first year Bill O'Brien got there, they had a team meeting, and then they followed up, and they were going to have a special teams meeting. And this player was walking out the door. He's in his 2nd year, walking out the door. And O'Brien looked at him like, where are you going? And he goes, it's special teams, coach. I don't play special teams. That player lasted all the year and lost his starting spot halfway through the year. sat on the sidelines in Cleveland and pouted his butt off because of it. And that's the kind of guy that didn't realize, oh, I'm not that guy. I have to be this guy. Well, eventually the light went on for him, and he became a spot starter, but really became a better player in special teams. That's what a guy like EJ is going to have to do from jump. Absolutely from jump. Now, I think he does some good things in the run game, but for a running back, he will find his way on the field, and his dad will tell him this, if you pass, protect, and play special teams. I'm telling you right now, we have players on this team. I've seen them at running back that probably because their talent, they probably should have made a team, but they know who to block, and they play special. Daria Gumbawali is the perfect example. Right now, EJ Smith should go call Daria Gumbawali, because I'm sure Daria's in Dallas. Call Daria and go, dude, how'd you do it? And Daria Gumbawali would tell him exactly the same thing I just said. And you have to swallow your pride at times. But what ends up happening is you end up sticking around for a dozen years. And that's what Daria Gumbawali has done. I think he's going into year 11. I hope he finds a spot. I hope he comes back to us. But Daria Gumbawali stuck around, and because of all those things I said. And that guy is a guy that I would send every day 3 UDFA project and say, go talk to him about how you can stick in the league. Because you're not going to start, not right away. And if you want to find your way to the starting lineup, you better follow that path. And I think EJ, if he's humble enough to do it, then he'll be able to stick around for a while.
Johnny, what do you think about Chase Basantis? You know, there's been a little bit of buzz of him sneaking into the first round. I say sneak because initially that wasn't the conversation. But after Pro Day, after the Combine, after his interviews, some people have him getting into that first round.
Well, you know me, David. My first mock draft, I had the Texans well before free agency taking Chase Basantis, Texas A&M offensive lineman, number 28. So, look, I mean, I'm biased. I come on with you every day, watch the Aggies from beginning to end. I don't know him quite like you, but I watched enough of Chase Basantis to know that's what an NFL lineman is supposed to look like. And I think he ends up going the back end of the first round. I would like to see it in Houston, but I think we've got, I don't want to say other needs, but I feel like because of the way we attack free agency, I really would like Chase to go somewhere where he could start right away. I don't know at guard where he would start right away for us, but he would be the future for us. And I think that's the other thing we got to consider is Chase is 21, I believe, if I'm right. Guy's 21 years old, started 3 years in the SEC. To me, that's going to raise the guy's value. And oh, by the way, he's a really good athlete, moves extremely well, plays with a chip on his shoulder, has the swarm tendencies we're looking for. He would be a perfect spot for us. And I hope he still ends up with us. But I just don't think it's going to happen. But I do think that he is going to be a player that from 28 to, say, 35-ish, he might have to, sweep it off Thursday night, but he's going to hear his name very early on Friday night. But I think that's really about where he ends up. I think he should be a first-rounder. I've thought that from the beginning. I think I have him at number 40 or 41 on my overall 100. But the way teams now absolutely without question need offensive linemen yesterday, he is going to be a hot item, I think. And I think he could ultimately be the first true interior player to come off the board in this draft.
Casey Concepcion, people have him anywhere after the 20 range. Johnny, what do you think for a young player like that, would be a great fit for him? I've seen San Francisco listed. I've seen Pittsburgh. I've seen KC with his skill set and hopefully his ability to get on the field. Where do you think his best avenue?
The Carolina Panthers. I think at 19 that would be a great spot because they've got 2 outside receivers. They've got Ted McMillan. They got Jalen Coker. Coker they play in the slot a little bit, but Xavier Legette has not done anything for them, and he's an outside guy. KC could be the move guy. He could be the guy that gets open in space, and Bryce can just flip it to him, and he can do something after the catch. And the Panthers lost Rico Dowdle, and I know Dowdle's a running back, but where Dowdle in the passing game can hurt teams, I think KC could do it from a receiver standpoint. And oh, by the way, he can return kicks, and he can return back to the state of North Carolina where he started his football career. I think Carolina would be a great spot. I think there are a lot of teams that could look at Casey Concepcion, and they would make room for him because he's all the things we talked about EJ. He's a great young man. After the Combine, the way he handled all that media scrutiny and everything, with his stutter and how he's gotten over that. I love the young man, and I hope, in Houston, I feel like we've got our receiver position taken care of. But if on Thursday night the Texans draft Casey Concepcion, I would stand up and cheer, because the more guys that you have that can make people miss and be successful with the ball in their hands, the more you want them on your team, the more of those guys you want. So it makes sense that the Bills would be interested. The 49ers went and got the 2 Aggies, but last year, with Christian Kirk, he was hurt a lot of the year for us. Jalen Nolan had to step up and kind of fill some of those reps. I think KC could do that in San Francisco. There are other teams, like you mentioned. God knows I don't want him to go to Kansas City. But I promise you this, on 4th down, Patrick Mahomes is going to throw the ball to Casey Concepcion, because dude's going to catch it and make a play and get a first down, not the other adults he was throwing to last year. So there are a lot of different places that I know probably wide receivers coaches and offensive coordinators are knocking on their GM's door going, hey, it's Concepcion kid. We need him. We need, don't mess around. Go get him. I guarantee you there are some offensive coaches that are doing that right now as they get ready for this draft tomorrow.
What are you hearing about Cassius Howell?
Anywhere. I mean, it's all over the map with Cassius. There's some that have him going. I think the Bucks are at 15. I think one of my mock drafts, I put him to the Bucks. The Bucks have nobody out on the edge. David, I'll be brutally honest. I wouldn't be surprised if the Texans were in play at 28 or maybe even 38. I think Cassius there are so many different spots where he can go. This is a really stout edge draft. But I think Cassius sets himself apart because of his pass rush acumen and the relentless nature with which he plays. And those two things, to me, set him apart. Now, you're going to run to this whole, his arm length this, does he hold up against the run that, all that kind of stuff. And I say that he's got the determination to become a better edge setter in the run, no question. But you don't find a natural pass rusher with mixed in bits of power like he has. And then it's that intensity. He turns it up on the field, off the field, very mannerly, soft-spoken young man. But on the field, that's where it gets turned up. And that's, like us in Houston, that's the kind of guys we have. Will Anderson off the field, smiles, big as Dallas. I mean, just a great young man. You get him on the field, he's the Terminator. I mean, he's literally two different people. And we've got a lot of guys that are like that. Cassius plays the game that way. So you start looking at back in that first round, New England could use a pass rusher. And I don't want him to go to New England, but New England could use a pass rusher. Kansas City, where he's from, could use a pass rusher. So there are teams that need it. So I think there is a wide range of where Cassius could go. Could he go night one? Sure. Again, like Chase, might have to sit on Thursday night and think about where, and then go in the first round. That's okay. You play well, you get your money earlier because you get that 4-year contract as opposed to that 5th-year option. You get that cash earlier. So, hey, it's okay if you go to the second round. You're going to go somewhere, make a name for yourself, and all of a sudden after 3 years, you get that big contract, and that big money and that new money kicks in earlier. So it's not a bad thing if you don't go in the first round, and that's what I think these guys have to come to grips with. Hey, if you're going to go in that late first round, you might as well just go in the second and then go play your guts out. You'll get that money earlier.
Talking to John Harris here on TexAgs Live. So I've seen Torian York as the day 3 guy. There's a part of me that says, hey, why not Dallas? Why not the Detroit Lions with Coach Dan Campbell? Where do you see Torian going in the draft, and what would be a good fit for him?
Yeah, I think either one of those spots are good for him. I think Detroit, they lost Alex Anzalone. They've got a decent crew of linebackers, but we go back to that conversation about EJ. I think Torian is going to have to make his way on special teams, and that's okay. Hall of Fame players have done it. Terrell Davis went to Japan, was ready to walk away from the game, wasn't getting any run at running back, flew down on a kickoff early in the game, smashed a San Francisco 49er returner, started getting carries later in that game, and by the beginning of the year, he was starting and became a Hall of Famer. So it's okay to start their career on special teams. You still be a great player. And what Torian has going for him is he'll wear the green dot. So he'll be the one that communicates with everybody, gets everybody lined up. what Torian has to do, no matter where he gets drafted, walk in that room and get the playbook day one. And I'm talking day 2 or 3, have that thing mastered. Up 24/7, 365, just with that playbook, learning every spot on the defense, not just his spot, every spot. Because if he can show teams that his football IQ is everything that we've said it is, and he's been willing to learn what it is that he's got to do in this new system, which I think he would prove in the 30 visits and in the meetings he's had with teams. I think teams already know that. But he's going to probably have to start on special teams, and that's okay. Because I can tell you, I've not seen a year where linebackers, the two guys that started, played all 17 games, perfect and healthy. San Francisco 49ers, we talked about earlier. Fred Warner went out like 4th or 5th game of the year. Then Dre Greenlaw had moved on, and then D. Winters got banged up, and then Tatum Bethune got hurt. So then they had like 4 or 5 guys that had to start a linebacker. So could Torian be one of those guys? And then all of a sudden he steps up and shows him something. Hey, we like this guy. And then all of a sudden financial decisions are made like, hey, this guy's too rich. We can rely on Torian York. He's on a rookie deal. And then it grows and grows. These guys cannot get frustrated with their lot in life if they don't hear their name until day 3. And a lot of guys do. A lot of guys sit there and they stew and they pout and they're like, why didn't I go on day 3? I'm going to take an NIL pay cut, all that kind of stuff. That can't be your mindset. Your mindset has to be, I've got an opportunity now. Watch me. Watch what I do. I will be a player for this team. Book it. And I think Torian York is going to be that kind of guy for a team. And look, the Lions make sense. The Cowboys make sense. Those two for sure. I'm trying to think. The Jaguars would make some sense. They just lost Devin Lloyd. So having another smart green dot wearer to go with Foye Olokun in Jacksonville, I think that would be a good spot. And I wouldn't rule out the Texans. We're always looking for smart, swarmy type players, and I think Torian would fit that in Houston too. So I don't rule it out on day 3. We got a ton of day 3 picks, so I wouldn't rule that out in Houston either.
Johnny, last thing for you. Let me ask you about, and it's not even a question. It's just interesting. I saw that NRG is changing back to Reliant after it was Reliant back in the day. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, I don't get it. Whatever. I mean, during FIFA, it's just going to be Houston Stadium because FIFA is kind of interesting as it pertains to sponsorships on stadiums. But, I don't get it. I mean, I'll call it NRG. I drove up the other day and I saw Reliant on it. It was just kind of weird. And the funny thing was I got in the building in 2014, David, as you know. That was the year it changed over from Reliant to NRG. And I remember Mark Vandermeer just hammered me over the head. It's NRG, it's NRG, it's NRG. So when this name change came, I looked at him and said, bro, now it's Reliant. You better not forget. I was like, I know I'm going to because it was so, kind of beat into my head to make it Reliant. So everybody get to Reliant Stadium this year and hopefully watch a Super Bowl champion team in the Houston Texans.
Appreciate you, brother. Enjoy the draft. We'll talk next week.
Yeah, man. Take care, brother. See you.
See you. It's John Harris on the Bumpy's Catering and Bartending Hotline, my brother. All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back, talk to Coach Henry, a little track and field, a moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet, Highway 21 in Caldwell, online at CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. When you're looking for a new vehicle, start your search at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Also, I think you should know this, that your current vehicle's got some equity behind it, right? And let the people who give you the most equity take care of you. They're going to give you a great trade-in value. You'll find the right car for you or your family. And maybe it's for your kids, maybe it's for your wife, maybe it's you just want a new look, right? And Caldwell Country Chevrolet's got the pre-owned inventory for you to look at, but it moves fast, so they're always looking to add to their lot. So they're looking to add vehicles, and if you're ready for a trade-in, they're the ones that take care of you. It's about a 15-minute drive, the edge of Bryant to the beginnings of Caldwell. Short conversation away, but you'll see the difference when you step on the lot and you do business with the great people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. And we are back here on TexAgs Live. Let's get a PhD from Mr. PH. It's our weekly conversation with Pat Henry. And this is brought to you by the Brazos Running Company. From running shoes to Aggie pajamas, this Aggie family's got you covered. Visit Brazos Running Company in Century Square or shop at Mason Hay at masonhay.com. With that, we go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Our dear friend, Coach Pat Henry here on the show. Coach Henry, how are you, sir?
Good morning, David. Sorry I just can't get in this morning. We're leaving, so I'm getting on a bus here in a few minutes.
Well, that's right. You're leaving for the Penn Relays, so let's just talk about heading to there on the heels of a strong showing there in Gainesville.
Yeah, we had an excellent meet. We really did. We had some people really step up and do some things that we thought they were capable of doing, and we got it done on that weekend.
Well, I do want to get into Penn Relays here in a moment, but if you can just kind of explain to our audience why this is such a prestigious race.
Well, the Penn Relays is a meet that's been going on for over 100 years, and that in itself makes it important to our sport. So it's a huge meet. It draws from all over the country, and in fact, all over the world. There's a big island group that comes in here. There's people from all over that come to the Penn Relays. So in the stands at any time, you're going to have 30,000 people, and on the last day, you could have 50,000 in the facility. So it's a well attended meet, and it's one that's exciting for our athletes.
Well, let's go back to the Tom Jones Memorial as a whole. What was your big takeaway from the weekend? I know that there were a lot of records that were broken, I should say.
Yeah, we, our new half miler. He's a new freshman, and Peter is getting better every time he steps on the track. And to run 1:45.0 as a freshman is a tremendous accomplishment. Now, I've never had one do that ever. I mean, I've had some really, really good half milers, but not that good as a freshman. So he's going to put himself into really high country. He's really done a great job. If he stays healthy, no telling what he can do.
Talking to Pat Henry here on TexAgs Live. Let's talk about Jaquaylin Scott. Broke his own school record in the 400-meter hurdles at 48.22. This guy just continues to deliver for you, sir.
JQ is a really, I mean, anybody who comes and watches any of our events knows how important JQ is to the team. He's one guy that you can depend on. He's a tough team guy. He's a motivator in our group, and and besides being as great as he is on the track, he really does our team well. But this weekend, he ran 48.2 in the 400 hurdles, which leads the country is really, really good. I mean, it's one of the best times in the world right now. So, and then comes back and runs the short hurdles, runs 13.4, and beats people that they said he might not be able to beat, but he beats them head up. So it was a great weekend for JQ.
Zaza's javelin throw of 84.68, now fourth in NCAA history. Just what are you seeing from his lands and what he's been able to do? What's been the biggest takeaway from the season Zaza's put together?
Well, this is a great javelin thrower. Now he's not a utility guy. I can't put him in every meet and let him throw. He's a guy that he's got a tremendous arm. Nobody can throw it at 84 meters and not have an arm that's this big time. And like you said, it's number 4 ever. He's got more in him though. The first thing he said to me when he walked off the runway, I got a big throw in me, Coach. And so he's trying to, he really is. He's aiming at throwing 90 meters. That's his goal. And he may accomplish that. And if he does, he'll go down in the history books. There ain't no question about it. He's a big time javelin thrower. And Juan De La Garza and Amin Nektar are doing a great job with managing him. He's a guy that's he's not immune to little hurts, but that's the way most of those great ones are. They always got a little bit of something wrong with them. There's always something. But he showed up. He showed up this weekend, and he's shown up earlier this season at LSU. He got his feet wet, and now he came back here and threw real well. So we'll rest him a little bit now and get him ready for when it really counts.
Talking to Coach Henry here on TexAgs Live. Cameron and Jasmine both delivered strong 200-meter performances, Coach. Just how important is that sprint depth when you're trying to build towards a national championship? Yeah, Cameron has just shown a level of consistency this year that she didn't last year, and that's what's going to make Cam even better this year. She's got another level in her, and I think she's going to get there this year. She's going to run fast, but you got to earn those. You got to beat some people that you didn't know you could beat, and that's what she's doing right now. Who else did you mention? Pardon, sir? Jasmine?
Jasmine.
Cameron and Jasmine?
Yeah, both of them. Both of them are doing real well. Jasmine Montgomery she's a little bit behind because she didn't have an indoor season. She only had an outdoor season remaining. She's a senior, so she's coming. You got to get in a rhythm a little bit, and she's just got to have a few more races before she's tough. She's real tough, and she and Cameron make up a great group for us. Our 4x1, we dropped the stick, and we were running real well, but that's okay right now. It's not okay, but it's something that we got to learn by, and we got to understand. We got to be perfect. We can't just run out there and not be thinking about what we're really trying to accomplish. It's something that you really, an exchange like that, when you're running full blast, both people, it's not as easy as it looks. You're trying to make it look easy, and when it's right, it looks easy, but it isn't. It's a very difficult thing to do. So we got a little more that we got to accomplish there, but they're coming. I think they're going to run extremely well. Our men's 4x1 ran real well this weekend. We didn't win it, but we ran 39-2, and so we're coming. We're getting just a little bit better each week, and so I'm pleased with that group. We had to be overtaken this weekend to for anybody to beat us. So we were out there. We're in position to win it. We just didn't win it. 4x1, 4x4s. The 4x4 relay, it was supposed to be the lineup with South Carolina and Florida and LSU and ourselves. It is those are the four dominant schools in the country right now, and all of us lined up, and we outran all three of them. So it's ran 3:01, which is fast. So that group is running well. Beat Florida on their own track is really good. LSU was second, and they beat us at home. But it's a good duel going with us and LSU, and Florida's going to be. But South Carolina's a little bit scary. So I don't know what those guys are going to do. If they can stay healthy, they'll be very hard to beat.
Coach Henry, last thing for you. Obviously, you've got SEC championships and NCAAs on the horizon. What are you looking for this particular weekend at the Penn Relays?
Yeah, we'll run quite a few events, not all events. We'll run. We're going to get to run a 4x8, and our half milers are running extremely well. I've never had a group of 145, 146, 146, and 147. That's 4 men that are running extremely well. So we'll see if we can put together a 4x8 this weekend that runs well, along with our 4x1 and 4x4. Women, our 4x2 should run well. Our 4x1 should run well. So this is a weekend for relays. It's a visible weekend. There's a lot of young people watch the 10 relays. So this is important for us with recruiting. This is an important weekend for us, and we hope that we can line it up and do a good job.
Coach Henry, we appreciate it. Good luck. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks for putting me on. Sorry it was this way this time. I'm sitting in my car, just pulled up at my office. So thanks for having me.
Of course, sir. Anytime. We'll talk to you soon. That is the great Pat Henry here on TexAgs Live. We'll hit a break. We'll come back. Trisha Ford will be in studio. 9 straight. Knock on wood. Milliken Reserve is a farm-to-table community in College Station where you can knock on wood. You can throw the softball around. You can, climb trees. You can do a fly kite. All the things you like to do outdoors. You can go hiking, you can go biking, canoeing, kayaking, equestrian trails, the evening yoga, the summer camps, the music festivals, the farmer markets. All of that you can do at Milliken Reserve. It's a great place to be outdoors and connect with your family. If you haven't been outdoors and gotten that sunlight, and I know recently it's been tough with all the rain, just go to Milliken Reserve and enjoy it. Get a Conservancy membership and take advantage of all the great activities you can do at Milliken Reserve. But you can also buy homes there. They've got the creek, the hollow, the meadows, and just a lot of great areas to live there at Milliken Reserve. You can learn more at millikenreserve.com. That website again, millikenreserve.com. Softball State of Mind, TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. Kay Nagley joining me with Trisha Ford here to talk a little Aggie softball. Coach Ford, how are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm supposed to. Okay, you help me out here. How do I talk about really good things, but like on the Diamond Sports, you don't want to say too much, right?
Correct. Yeah.
But you're playing very well. How about that?
There
I'm
we
not
go,
going to say
yeah.
how many in a row or anything like that.
Yeah.
You're playing very well.
We took care of business this weekend.
So success is one thing, right? The wins and losses.
Yep.
But how are you, in your eyes, playing?
Yeah. I was really happy to see our pitchers bounce back, to be honest. I thought both Sids pitched their tails off this weekend, executed, and really what we don't remember is the Baylor game as well. And so Lessentine had to throw quite a bit in that game, and she did a really good job. And then, obviously Peters and her combined this weekend to get us those wins. So just, I think a tremendous job in the circle. And then our offense, really came through for us on Sunday. I mean, that was crazy. Maya's grand slam, Paisley Allen all weekend long. I mean, we're rolling.
Yeah. You speak of, we talked about both Sydney's kind of just finding their gear within this pitching staff. We talked about Emily Kennedy having to be the ace last year and those two providing help here and there. But now it really feels like they're completely settled in and they know exactly what their role is.
Yeah, it took us a while, but I think they're understanding it. Really what they have to understand is what that pressure looks like of every single game of making sure that you're executing at a high level. In the SEC, if you put a ball over the middle part of the plate, there's a likelihood that it's going out, and so I think for us, it's just really important for them to understand that, embrace just that pressure, the old saying is pressure is a privilege, and it really truly is. And so I think I just enjoy watching them come into their own. Like, that's why you coach, is for them to start to understand how great, and Les is probably tired of hearing me say this, but like, be okay with your greatness. Like, don't run from your greatness. And I think that's what they're both doing.
How do you manage both types of situations? All right, you're down 6 in the blink of an eye, okay? And obviously, this is a long game, and your offense can heat up.
Yep.
And the other side, you get up to a huge lead, and the game is never. So can you kind of take me through your mindset through that?
I think on Sunday in particular, I go out there and we're bringing in Peters, and KP looks at me and she's like, "We're all right." And I've said this a couple of times, but I know when KP says that, like, we're going to be good. All right. Yeah. And might not equal a win, but it's going to be like, we're not worried about this. Like, we know we got to go to work. We're going to see these pitchers for, it's day 2 for both of them. And we're going to be okay. I think that is always good to see as your senior, your leader. I mean, KP has just been electric for us this year. And I think we go as she goes, And so I think when she says that, everybody's like, yeah, we're going to be all right. Yeah. And now when we're on the other side, when we score 6 runs, which I prefer that. Yes. I just think my biggest thing is like, that inning is over. Like, we did a great job, but can we win the next inning? And so I'm just very in the moment where my feet are. And yes, I love 6 runs in 1 inning, but can we put up a crooked number again in inning 2, 3, and 4, and then we get out of there quick?
Right.
That's
the best.
Yeah.
Speaking of the comeback on Sunday, you're down 6-0, and before any of this happens, your freshman Maddie Sawney gets out there and starts leading yells, and she wasn't, hadn't been your starting catcher, been taken out of the lineup. Just what does it say about her as a freshman to have that leadership and then to see how your team responds? Yeah, and she had 2 big pinch hitting opportunities and, obviously executed in both of them this weekend. She's just tremendous. I mean, again, like, I just know, like, the reason why I recruited her is because of that. Yeah. Yes, she's talented, all those things, but really Maddie has it. She is the it factor. Our seniors love her, our juniors, like, everybody up and down the lineup love her. And Coach Harger and I were talking about it. We had a kid at Fresno State who ended up transferring to ASU with us named Morgan Howell. And she was an All-American, but her freshman year was a pinch hitter and hit like 750 as a pinch hitter. And so I'm like, maybe we got another Morgan Howell. So I'm texting Mo and saying, hey,
give us some good juju here, and we're trying to breed another Mo Howe. Yeah,
that's funny.
Do you mind if I go one more on the comeback?
Yeah,
because I'm just fascinated, like what mindset happens. Maya's up to the plate, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, are you already thinking, here we go, or like, and what is it when she hits that? Like, it's almost like an exclamation point. We were good. When KP says we're good, we're good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like in that situation, I'm like, we're going to be all right. But what I really love, if you watch that clip, look at how excited everybody on base is. I think KP jumped like 6 inches in the air.
Yeah.
And just that's, again, like, nobody will ever take that from them. And those are the memories that you're really going to remember when you're, old like us and, washed up. But that is, from a coach's standpoint, like them living in those moments and executing is like everything. Like, it just brings a lot of joy, I guess, to me.
Well, I mean, that's what you want to see. Like when you're a mother, a father, a head coach, like you want those memories, those core memories, that's what they go back to 20 years from now and talk about. Remember that day that Maya hit the grand slam? We're like, that's what part of the reason we do what we do.
At 100%. And just, we've talked about this. When you leave this program, you can do hard things. And like everybody had to get on base before that. I mean, it takes a team. And obviously Maya came up big, but it's just, that's the life skills that I really love to see kind of come to fruition. Yeah.
Gonna continue on with Maya because obviously she has the grand slam, but she's also been on base for 49 straight games. And I was doing some research, right? Yeah. I know, I was doing some research, and of the 105 games played this season and last season, she's only been held off base of 8 of them.
Yeah.
Can you talk about, she is just the picture of consistency.
Yeah, she's special. I mean, I don't know how else, like, there's not really a lot of words that describe, and she loves the game. I think that's what really sets her apart than a lot of players, is that she loves the game. She loves coming out and competing. She talks a high level. She's watching her at-bats. How are they going to pitch me? She's just, I told her, I said, again, like, I'm just happy you're on my team. Like, her and KP are probably the most, I said, annoying, hitters to face because they just find ways to get on base. And that's what you want, But yeah, Maya's tremendous. And, I keep saying this too, though, but she's been like this since she was 12. Mm-hmm. She's hit at every level at a high rate, every level that she's ever played at.
Yeah.
Considering how well you're playing right now and the non-conference and like some of the bumps and bruises, like it's almost like the last game, right? Like you're trending in the direction you wanted to, but you had to go through those battles to be where you are now.
Yeah, I think with this young group, I think we definitely had to go through them, although I wish we didn't, I feel like I'm still wearing the bruises, but I think they understand who they are. They understand that they are really good when they work together. And I think the other thing that's impressed me a lot about this group is every week we're kind of talking about different people, like KP, Maya, Talon, Wark, Paisley Allen this weekend. We've talked about KK, Kelsey Mathis. Like, everybody from top to bottom of that lineup has had weekends where they're contributing while our core has really stayed consistent. And I think that's what they've learned through the trials and tribulations of that non-conference schedule. That was,
okay, I'll jump in here in a second, but have you heard Olin say KK's name?
Oh, no. Do I need to?
Oh, it's the best. I got to get him in. He goes, KK! KK! He loves saying KK's name.
Oh, my God. Well, you got to get him to say Kamara.
Yeah.
So when she's in trouble, I'll be like, Kamara? And she's like, oh, Coach Ford. Yeah.
I don't know if Olin can do that.
I don't know. We'll have to work with him. We'll get a couple of drinks in him and he might be all right. Yeah.
Y'all are 20-3 when scoring first, especially on the road. Going this weekend, number 25 South Carolina, another talented SEC team. How important is it for your team, do you think, to strike first?
Well, it's on our goal chart. So I think they think it's really important. And they know that. The goal chart, it's not about a lot of coachisms. It's about what do we do that directly leads to wins, and scoring first is on there. So I think that they know that, but I also think that they understand that they can come back from a lot of situations. But I think it sets the tone of the game of like the Aggies are here. We're here to bash, Coach Early's team's doing the same thing. I think it's important in the diamond sports that you get on there and you kind of put pressure on the other team, opposing team early on in the game.
Coach Ford, thank you so much. Appreciate you
thanks
very
for
much.
having me, yeah.
All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back with a short segment to close out the 9 o'clock hour. Then Recruiting Country at 10 is TexAgs Live. As a reminder, the final segment of the program is at 10:50, but right now, caller number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggie Land since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls. Reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com, and your favorites are on their way. We go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Kayla Gaither, I know you've got some interesting stuff that we can find on TexAgs today.
I do, but first, if you haven't already, it's always a good time to become a TexAgs premium subscriber. There is so much content happening with spring sports, especially Luke Evangelist's portal tracker that has over 500,000 views already. So if you're not a premium subscriber, you really should be. And there's a lot of stuff on TexAgs today, like Road to the Majors, the Brad Rudis story sponsored by Allied Milk Producers, Case softball breakdown sponsored by American Plumbing, the full Brooks Austin interview from yesterday's show. We have the B-Team show sponsored by SV Animal Hospital and the full Andrew Monaco interview from yesterday's show as well. And then later today, we're going to have a lot of Texas Aggies United interviews. We have extra innings with Cade McCoy and Wesley Jordan. We have the huddle with CJ Mims and Sam Mpemba and the passback with Kai Castle.
Great stuff. Appreciate that. All right, so here's how the rest of the show is going to play out. 10 o'clock, Jason Howell is going to join us. We've got a lot to get into. Recruiting Country, maroon and white game, obviously, from over the weekend, and some of the kids that have been in attendance or will be in attendance. So we'll talk to Jason on the other side about that. And at 10:35, Kendall Rogers. And, I had somebody send me a message. I got to remember who sent it to me, but basically ask him why Texas is currently ranked ahead of A&M. So we can ask about that. And, we'll just get into some other topics. Also, Sydney and Kaylee will be here to do their segment, which is called In Case You Missed It. And chances are I probably did miss it. All right, if you want to be a part of the conversation, call us up, 979-693-1150. Text that number as well. That's the Buffy's Catering and Bartending hotline if you call it. And it is the Catalyst Pure Performance Energy text line. If you text it, it's TexAgs Live. We are back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. It's time for Recruiting Country, and our good friend Jason Howell is going to join us. This is brought to you by American Momentum Bank, the only privately owned bank headquartered in Bryan College Station. American Momentum Bank is committed to helping our community prosper, offering you a wide array of personal and business banking solutions specifically designed to help build financial success with confidence and momentum on your side. With that, we go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Our buddy Jason Howell here on the program. Senor Howell, how are you, sir?
Fantastic. Can't complain at all. Spring's wrapped up, and the coaches are on the road, and it's a great time to follow some Texas A&M recruiting.
Are you busier than normal? You're about as busy? Like, how are things right now for you?
Well, the visit weekends kind of slow down with the wrap up of spring ball, but yeah, I mean, it's just a different thing to cover. We're tracking, trying to track where the coaches are heading out to. I know you had Coach Cushing out at Tyler Legacy yesterday, checking in with Demarion Johnson. You had some coaches out at North Crowley, where 5-star cornerback John Meredith is now playing some ball. So and we've always got 7-on-7 and all kinds of stuff. I think the state qualifiers are starting to ramp up, and just trying to get everything lined up as these late May through June official visit weekends start to get booked up.
But what are you doing, Jason? Because you're either doing a crawfish boil or, I don't know, painting a house. What are you doing?
Well, let's see. I don't have anything too crazy going on this weekend, not that I know of, but I'm sure I'll get some. I went to a place called Roller Town, not brewery, but in Frisco. It's Roller Town Beer Works, I think. Anyway, free advertisement for them, but there's a place out there with a fantastic cheeseburger. And so we went on Sunday to check it out, see what was going on there, and Mueller Wagyu is the name of that one if you want to check it out. But it was phenomenal, 5 stars on the burger rating there, but it took about 45 minutes from order to table, but it was worth it. So I enjoyed it. If you got a little bit of time, I'd suggest checking it out.
Jason, the last time you did an accidental plug, am I right? They heard it at the restaurant, or something to that effect, right?
Yeah, it got posted on Facebook, I think. So yeah, I try and give a leg up to those places that have done me right. We've tried a few places around here recently that man, they've really knocked it out. If you want to talk sushi and Mexican food, I got a couple places for you, but I feel like I don't want to step on any toes or anything like that either.
I get it, Jason. I get it. Hey, take us through Jaden Upshaw's commitment. What does this addition mean? Another addition to the class?
Yeah. Top 50, top 100 prospect, big, physical, well-rounded receiver. He's a guy that we had a really good feeling about leading up to his commitment, that A&M was in a great position. He visited the weekend before, but he brings a skill set that really easily translates to the college game. He's known as one of the most well-rounded, college-ready type receivers in the class. So, he's a guy you can expect to hear from fairly early. But good friends with Jace Johnson, played travel ball with him and Aaron Gregory, and I know Aaron's been in his ear quite a bit. He'd been getting a full court press for a long time, not only from Trooper Taylor and Holman Wiggins, but with a lot of those recruits and some of those guys already on campus. So A&M was in an incredibly strong position there for a while, and I think he actually said he visited for the Florida game last fall, and he pretty much knew then that A&M was his pick. So he's been pretty good, pretty certain about where he wanted to go for a while. So big addition, another Georgia standout, and got to see him this weekend here in Dallas. He told me he was planning to get back to College Station, but he had to do some 7-on-7 stuff in Dallas instead. So DFW kept him away from College Station one more time this spring. But he had a phenomenal weekend. Plays for Cam Newton's not Cam Newton's squad anyway. He plays for a cold-hearted 7-on-7 squad where he was one of their top receivers and did some big things at OT sevens here in Dallas.
What is it about Georgia, and how has A&M done so well in the state of Georgia?
I think it goes back to Elko's staff, Trooper Taylor, and you have a lot of them a lot of those coaches have some really strong ties to the state of Georgia. And, it's those guys, a lot of them in the Atlanta area, they can easily hop on a plane and get to College Station. And so it's not that hard of a travel destination, and it's big time football. I think I don't know what the reputation is for Texas A&M with a lot of those guys before they take the visit, but I can tell you big impressions are made just rolling up and seeing Kyle Field for the first time, and then they meet the staff and right there at home and the family feel, the environment, it feels very familiar to a lot of those guys. So big time college football, Kyle Field, the 12th man, the Aggie network, and it not being that hard of a travel day to get to College Station. I think that helps quite a bit with a lot of those guys.
Well, let's look big picture at the 27 class so far as we are getting closer to May. You've spoken pretty high about it, but just how's it stacking up, and where can it go?
Well, and I mentioned it in the long form this week. Just you've got 12 commits. That's the second most commits of any recruiting class, but there's still a lot of room to grow. You're sitting at number one in the country, according to at least one team ranking, and it's incredibly early. But you're number two in the other ones right now, and you've got one of the top average rankings out there in the country. Now, I think 93 average ranking by or rating by each of those networks, and the fact that they have such a great foundation and so much room for growth potential. We talked about there's 4 guys in the class rated 5-star, whether it's composite or by one of the services, but you also hosted 12 more of those guys this spring. So, and some of them on multiple visits. I think you had 3 take multiple trips to A&M this year, rated 5 stars or more, uncommitted, in Mark Matthews, Eric McFarland, and Caden Henderson. And I mean, that just tells you what kind of growth potential you have. Plus you've got Josh Dobson, John Meredith. You're very much in play with Ismail Kamar and so many of these other guys, as well as a lot of the top 50, top 100 types. And that's why there's so much positivity, and there's a reason to believe there's a lot of staying power with this class. Plus, it's not just talent. There's a lot of strong character, culture guys at the top end of that talent level in the class. So you've got some really strong leaders and guys who are very vocal. Kamari Dorsey, Caden McCarty, and a lot of those guys are very active as recruiters with a lot of those uncommitted targets. So that leads you to believe that things are going to be trending up. There's a lot of momentum, and A&M's in position to really make a run at one of the top recruiting classes, not only this cycle, but in the last several.
Talking to Jason Howell here on Recruiting Country on TexAgs Live. So let's go to the maroon and white game. I know you mentioned some of the guys that were in town, but let's just kind of go line by line. Mark Matthews on campus for the game. What's your read on where A&M stands with him?
Man, they are trending strong right now coming out of this weekend, and it's not too surprising considering he has taken multiple visits. Obviously, from Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and Mario Cristobal are going to do everything they can to keep him at home. But if you'd asked me if I thought A&M had a real shot to land him going into this weekend, I would have put it like it's on the outside, you want to, it's kind of like that Lamar Brown recruitment where, are you really going to pull that guy out of Baton Rouge away from LSU? And that's kind of the thought there with Mark. But man, we are hearing some really positive things. I know he loves what A&M's offensive line has done, the development there, Coach Cushing, all those guys. There's several members of the staff with strong connections with the Miami area. And so there's a lot of that there as well that can help draw him in. And he's obviously interested. He visited 3 times this spring, and that definitely says something. He got to see A&M in South Bend against Notre Dame, and he got to see him in College Station and experience the 12th man. So there's a lot of things there. I know playing opportunity and development are huge in his determining factors, and A&M's done a really good job of showing him the path to the field as well as giving him that plan. So we'll see if it's good enough to win out. But I said on Monday, I think if anybody can do it, it's A&M, and they are definitely putting a strong foot forward. And I'd venture to say they may be the favorite right now. Things are really trending well with A&M there, and we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, the Aggies are looking good right now, and I'd put Miami right there as a school to watch as well. Watch them very closely.
Talking to Jason Howell here on TexAgs Live. He wasn't the only offensive lineman to visit. Talk about some of the other guys that were in town.
Well, you had commitment, Caden Scott in town, doing a little recruiting. He was in Mark's ear, quite a bit throughout the weekend, and talking about teaming up at the tackle spot and doing some work together, and that iron sharpens iron kind of situation. And I know Caden McCarty was as well, but yeah, he was in town. You had some top 28s in town. Sean Sherman out of Anna. He's been one of the top DFW interior offensive linemen, coming up through the ranks in that 28 class, and the Aggies offered him in June last year after a strong camp performance, and he was back in town. He was very excited to get in town. I know in the 27 class, Richardson, offensive tackle, Jasper Ngakwe was back in town. It was his first trip to College Station in a little bit, and he's kind of looking to see what happens in the spring and maybe catch up with Coach Cushing a little bit more. Right now, I get the sense, A&M's got some national level type guys, and I like Jasper's upside, but I get the sense that he doesn't have an OV scheduled. He already has 4 scheduled out there to Missouri, Texas, Vanderbilt, and Texas Tech. And but he's keeping an eye on the Aggies, and the Aggies are keeping an eye on him as well. Definitely a high upside guy. But right now, I tend to lean more towards other guys on A&M's board right now.
Jason, anybody else who visited that you feel like is trending in the right direction?
They had several that were in town that. I think especially with those 28s, you're thinking more down the road. Ryan Peterson out of Charlotte or out of the Charlotte area there. Cornelius Huff, linebacker in the 28 class, gave me a 7-minute interview. It was his first trip to A&M. He's already planning to be back. Several SEC offers, one of the stud linebackers out there in the country, and he was blown away, him and his family. But just it was a fun interview. If you got a few minutes, I definitely tell you to go listen to that and talk about and listen to how he raved. A lot of those 28s are already talking about coming back. It was their first time to experience College Station and see Kyle Field, and they were all blown away. Casey Barner, a 5-star out of Georgia, another Atlanta area kid to keep an eye on. He was a guy that caught my attention when I went to see Aaron Gregory at the Corky Kell Classic in early August. Phenomenal all-around player. I want to say he had 300 all-purpose yards that game and was phenomenal on defense and offense. And he's one of the stud defenders, top safety prospects out there in the country. He made his first trip to College Station, and he's already talking about a spring visit, and I got to get back to see a game. So that definitely some of those guys in that 28 class are guys to keep an eye on.
All right, Jason, on the other side, I want to just kind of reset where we are with several of the 5-stars and top recruits, and then we'll get into, now that the spring is over, now what? So we'll do that on the other side. Right now we're talking ground shuttle. If you're traveling soon, I'm going to be going to, North Carolina soon for some soccer stuff with my daughter, and I don't want to drive the bush. All right, I'm just going to tell you, it's not ideal. The drive, I don't like it. Once you get on the Beltway and 249, at least where we're coming from, it's just a disaster. It's bumper to bumper. It's Houston drivers. It's the whole mess, right? And I don't want to deal with it, and I don't think you need to deal with it either, because just have somebody do the driving for you, and that's what you get there at Ground Shuttle. They'll take you there, right, door to door. They can pick you up, or you can go to their convenient parking there right next to Casa de Brazil in South College Station, and they'll just get you there, right? And they've got 9 shuttle times every weekday, every hour and a half. They've got 5 shuttle times on the weekends, every 2.5 hours. It's excellent for business travelers, for families going on vacay, or even maybe if you're a college student trying to get back home. That's the way to go. And you can book any of their vehicle to their charter service, any group size you want. They will take you anywhere in Texas. Local company that takes care of the great people here in the Brazos Valley. Easy to book your shuttle online at groundshuttle.com. That is groundshuttle.com, or call them up, 855-303-4415. That is 855-303-4415. It's Ground Shuttle. Everyone, David Nuño here for Allen Honda. Had a great conversation with them earlier today. John Allen's the owner. He's been here forever, and also their GM, Rusty Skinner, great guy. Wonderful conversation. They're super local. They're a family-owned dealership, not some massive auto group, and they treat their customers like family because they basically are family. They're Aggie alums. They love Aggie sports, and they've been serving the Brazos Valley with integrity, with passion, and commitment to excellence for over 50 years, which is very rare, by the way, for the independents, because people trust them. And that's why they've been doing it for such a long time. Whether you're looking to buy, lease, or service your vehicle, you can count on them for transparent, no-pressure experience that puts your needs first. And I can attest to it. Had a great conversation about my own situation with them. Their knowledgeable sales team will help you find the perfect Honda to fit your lifestyle, from fuel-efficient sedans to versatile SUVs. Leasing options are flexible and affordable, making it easy to drive the latest models with confidence. And when it comes to service, their certified technicians only use genuine Honda parts to keep your vehicle running at its best, whether it's routine maintenance for major repairs or whatever it may be. And we know that trust isn't given, it is earned, and that's why generations of local drivers right here in the Brazos Valley and Bryan College Station keep coming back to Allen Honda. As part of the community with Aggie spirit in their hearts, they are here to make everyone's visit wonderful. So visit their showroom or their service lane and find friendly, efficient, and memorable situations when you go to Allen Honda. Come see why so many College Station and Bryan drivers choose Allen Honda for their automotive needs, and remember, gig 'em. We are back. It is TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. We continue on with recruiting country. Jason Howell has been breaking down a bunch of the 5 stars, but let's kind of reset where we are with a bunch of the names that are still out there, the high-profile recruits. Jason, just give us just your thoughts on some of the names and where A&M stands.
Yeah, I'm going to throw out 3 5-stars right off the bat here in Ismail Kamara, John Meredith, and Eric McFarland. A&M's very much involved with all those guys. They've all visited this spring. Eric McFarland a couple times. The Aggies are looking good, positioning themselves very well to be top contenders for all of them. Now, each of them are looking at official visits. I think they all three have officials already scheduled to Texas A&M, and I don't anticipate them making a decision until they do take those visits. And I want to say their visit schedules run all the way through that last weekend they can in June. I think that's at June 21st weekend, somewhere in there. But yeah, and I think you'll start to see some real decision making get done there. Some of those guys really coming off the board. But the Aggies have positioned themselves extremely well with all of them. I know with Kamara, you've got LSU, Texas, Alabama, Oregon, a whole host of others there. He's going to have a crazy visit list this summer. So he's going to be all over the place. He was just at LSU. John Meredith, he's got visits lined up to Alabama, Texas, Ohio State, as well as the Aggies. I look for that one to kind of come down to an A&M Texas battle. So we'll see what happens there. Both are really positioning themselves well as we look towards the summer month. And then Eric McFarland, he's not saying a whole lot as far as favorites. He's another one that's been really busy this spring. Georgia, Tennessee, Ohio State, also on his official visit schedule. He was at Kentucky. He's been all over the place. I think Florida, Miami, a few other schools. He's been all over the place this spring, But the Aggies, I mean, get him on campus a couple times. You've got some guys in his ear. You've got Zyron there, who's his teammate there at IMG, and I know Jaden Upshaw's on him. Jace Johnson, quarterback there, played with him at the Under Armour game and was also at the Polynesian Bowl, I believe. So definitely some strong connections there with him that I look for the Aggies to put on the full court press there, and they continue to look like strong contenders there as well.
Talking to Jason Howell here on TexAgs Live. Jason, let's go through, now that spring is over, what's ahead. And I know there's still some events going on. I think the OT Sevens is coming up.
Yeah, it's been like OT 7 month here in Dallas, and I love it from the perspective of being able to go out and see some of the nation's best recruits compete and get a bunch of interviews. I mean, I've gotten to see Eric McFarland a few times. Jaden Upshaw was in town. John Meredith has been competing at the event on multiple weekends. And there's several others that are through town with that. And I'll be out there again Saturday and Sunday, just trying to track down the latest. But it's been very beneficial to us at TexAgs, just getting information, being able to meet these guys and do these interviews in person with several top recruits. Should be another packed weekend full of updates. I think Caden Henderson has been in town, and I know his team will be in town this weekend. We'll see if he's back in Dallas as well. It should be a pretty stout event, and should have plenty of recruiting news out of it this weekend as well.
So the Metroplex is getting a lot of activity, but the coaches themselves, they're going to hit the road all over the place.
Yeah, they're. I mean, they were waiting kind of for spring to wrap up, but the I guess contact period began last week, and on Monday, man, they were out the door. We were seeing on social media they were stopping in, seeing recruits. It's a contact period, so I'm pretty sure they can go in home. They can have meetings at the schools. They can do a lot of things with as far as evaluations and all that stuff. And you'll see us talking about who they've been to visit and just kind of the reports from those trips and those visits and things like that over the next few weeks. That goes until I think May 23rd, and then of course you have official visits coming up and summer camps and all that stuff towards the end of May and into June. So it's going to be a lot of activity. I'll be out hitting the road myself. So I'm gonna drop through, see some top recruits. I know this afternoon I'm gonna head over to Allen, check in with the Eagles. We have a couple young guys that A&M's looking at in the 29 class, and quarterback Ty Snell and receiver Zach Williams, and they've got a lot of talent out there. I'm excited to check in with, and we'll be getting around making our usual spring tour as TexAgs recruiting analysts. I know me and Bronny are going to get out and about.
Jason, if you had like a crystal ball and said, all right, I'd be paying attention to this over the next 30 days, what would that be?
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, there's so much. I feel like a kid with ADD just all over the place with all this stuff. As far I keep an eye on those 5 stars and some of those guys narrowing down their lists. You're going to see some more guys make decisions. I don't know exactly who I would pinpoint right now, but you're trending really well with so many guys in that 27 class. And then, Kennedy Brown's one that we've seen a lot of projections come in lately, but A&M's been trending really well with him for a long time. Florida, LSU also very much in the mix there. But the Aggies are really putting a strong foot forward there. If I'm looking at guys that could potentially make moves, maybe a Mark Matthews, who I don't think he's actually set visits, but it's something that Albert Simeon's another one to keep an eye on there, especially on the offensive line. But there's so much out there. My personal favorite is O-line, and then right there with it is DB recruiting. And but A&M, you look for this, look for things to kind of tighten up and that picture to take a little bit more shape as we head into the summer months, I guess. But yeah, keep your head on a swivel. There's a lot to take in.
Jason, great stuff, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Always.
Thank you, man. Jason Howell on the Bumpy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. We'll come back. Kendall Rogers with his weekly hit here on the program. When it comes to your money and peace of mind, it starts with the right team. That right team is Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors, an independent fiduciary firm serving clients all across Texas. No commissions, no sales pitches, just trusted advice tailored to you and your family. With a team of 18 professionals, this includes over 9 CFPs, a CFA, and a CPA. Their expertise runs deep there at Paragon, and credentials matter, and so does your future. Visit paragon-adv.com or give them a call, 979-693-3907, to schedule your free consultation today. Paragon Financial Advisors, integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors. And we're back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We're in the Rollo Insurance Studio. We go straight to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline, joined by our buddy, Kendall Rogers from D1Baseball. Kendall, good morning, buddy. How are you?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, man. So, all right, let's talk about A&M. Obviously, that's what I like to do on this show. I don't know if you knew that. They are playing at a very high level. The pitching seems to have worked itself out, pitching very well recently. They've keep winning series. They have got back-to-back sweeps, the 2-game sweep, and then obviously the 3-game traditional sweep against LSU. What are your thoughts on A&M, the way they're playing, and what this means for their future?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is, I get that LSU's down right now, but for A&M to go into the box, and I was kind of saying this on the LSU show the other night, is I can't recall a series, no matter even that 2000 was the year before they won the title, when LSU was like a 2 seed in a regional on the road. Even that year, I cannot remember a time where I watched an LSU team in a series look like they pretty much had no shot to win. And I know Micah Early probably didn't feel like that in the dugout, but I think all of us kind of watching that series from afar is like, there's no way LSU's winning this game. And I kind of felt that way in all 3 games. So I think twofold. I think LSU's not playing great. I think A&M is playing really good baseball. I think the thing that is super intriguing about A&M right now is we could talk about the offense all day long, but it's the evolution of the pitching staff. Ethan Darden, I feel like his stuff is really good right now. Gavin Lyons, he's really doing a nice job from that kind of that funky arm angle of keeping that fastball low in the zone. Clayton Freshcorn has been really good. And so all of a sudden, these guys that, were kind of iffy, I wouldn't say iffy, but like unproven bullpen pieces, earlier in the season, I feel like their stuff has really ticked up. And obviously Sims has been a plus. Weston Moss threw pretty well. I thought Shane Sadeo, as usual, really battled. And so, yeah, man, like this team's checking a lot of boxes. And, oh, by the way, they played really good defense over the weekend. I want to say they made 1 error, maybe no errors. There might have been 1 error. But, I mean, it was 1 error in 3 games on the road. I mean, that's about as good of a weekend as you're going to get.
Kendall, I remember early in the season, one of the talking points was, is it sustainable to mash your way to the postseason and potentially hosting a regional and maybe being a team that has a national seed? Does it feel sustainable now that the pitching seems to be trending in that right direction?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me, again, I always look at things from a how do you get to Omaha perspective, because I do think things open up a little bit in Omaha because you have a day off in between games. You can really, it's funny, I would not recommend this approach, but I still remember one year in Arizona won the national championship, the year they beat South Carolina, they used 4 pitchers in Omaha. So, like, that is not the formula I would want to use as a coach, but, it can be done. So, the fact that they've got, 6 or 7 guys, that they really trust right now on the mound, I think is important. I maintain when I look at A&M's offense, I look at the way they're playing defense, I look at their vibe. This is a very professional approach. I think the best chance they have to lose, honestly, in the postseason is if somebody happens to trip them up in the 2nd game of a regional and they have to go to an extra game on Monday. I really think that's the only way. I think if that doesn't happen, I think this team's in Omaha.
Kendall, I got to ask, why is A&M behind Texas in the rankings, in your opinion? Like, they have a better record. They beat them head to head. But is there a reason? Is it maybe because of the belief in the Texas pitching staff long term? Is it like, just kind of give me some of the thinking as of right now?
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's a good question. I think I saw somebody said on TexAgs or on the website the other day. I think that the biggest thing for me is, if you look at the overall resume, again, yeah, that was a really nice series win for A&M. There's no doubt about that. But if you look at the overall resume right now, Texas has a better resume. And the fact of the matter is, let's be honest, they have a better pitching staff. And, if you look at their offense, the weekend against A&M, they didn't, again, this is an excuse for them. But when they're fully healthy, with guys like Adrian Rodriguez, are in the game, that is a really good team. And so I think for me, I still think Texas has the better pitching staff. I think A&M clearly has the better offense. I think ultimately for me, when you look at where they are in the rankings, they're very close. I just think Texas, for now, has a lot better resume. But guess what? A&M goes to Florida. They get Mississippi State at home. They still have Auburn at home. I mean, they could end up having the better resume here in pretty short order.
What has Michael Early done to change the perception of his coaching ability here over the last few months?
It is crazy, isn't it? I mean, I felt like, after, I want to say even after they got run ruled by UCLA, there was still a lot of people, and after the Georgia series, a lot of people, including myself, frankly, they were kind of like, man, I don't know how the season's going to go for these guys. But I've been super impressed. I thought the other day, I think it was Moss. Moss, I think, went 4 1/3, but LSU started getting a couple of better swings off of him. I thought Mike did a really nice job of going out there and not allowing LSU and not allowing the box to become a factor. I think he's pressing a lot of the right buttons. And I think a lot of credit, in addition to his growth as a coach, I think goes to his staff as well. Cliff Pennington, a guy that, in the offseason, whenever they had an opening, it was like pretty obvious that Cliff should be the guy. He's been a huge bonus for this team. He's a big reason why they've kind of stabilized things defensively. I feel like they seem a lot more sure of themselves in terms of the shifting and the defensive strategies and things like that. And, for all the grief that people kind of gave JK early in the year, this pitching staff is starting to come into fruition a little bit. I mean, the relievers are getting better. The starters are getting better. And so all the different pieces with his coaching staff are starting to come together. And ultimately, it starts at the top. Mike has never had a confidence problem. Now he's a guy that has a plan, and he's very convicted on what he's trying to do. And you're kind of seeing that play out on the field a little bit.
And what about the freshmen on this team that are contributing at such a high level? I mean, they're not just freshmen that are doing well. They're exceeding what I think any of us were expecting. And Jorian, the most recent guy, but I mean, all season, Boston and Nico.
Well, I think it's huge. I mean, I was actually talking to Mike about this the other day. And, the thing about it is, after this season, you're obviously going to lose some dudes. I mean, you're losing Sorrell, Grahovic, et cetera. So, I mean, you're going to have to replace those guys somehow, or at least, try to, limit how big their losses are or their departures are. And the thing that if you're A&M and as you go into the portal this summer, you're not having to replace a whole lineup, because now you're looking at what you have coming back and you're going, I mean, I have Kellner, Wilson, Partita. I mean, that's a pretty good place to start from an offensive standpoint. So I think what they've done this year has been impressive. I mean, Partita has certainly been good defensively for the most part. He's obviously shown a lot of power. Kellner, I mean, he's just kind of he's just a ball player. He looks like he's a senior or a junior in terms of just his mentality at the plate. He works counts. It's not the flashiest defense in the world, but I mean, he got it done over the weekend at LSU. And then Wilson, I mean, honestly, as good as Nico is, Wilson might be the most intriguing freshman in the SEC right now. I mean, you're talking about a guy that looks like an absolute Adonis, strong arm, big time power. And, for now, he's just going to be one of those guys that, he's going to swing and miss a couple of times, but he's also going to shoot, 113 off the bat down the left field line randomly in a game as well. So it's a little bit feast or famine with him. But, I mean, imagine what that guy's going to look like in a year and then another couple of years, with more instruction and more time in the weight room and things like that. So, yeah, this is a team that I thought coming into the season is if you looked ahead to next year a little bit, maybe 4 weeks ago, you were thinking, boy, they're going to have so much to replace. Now you're looking at it and going, they actually have a pretty good foundation set.
All right, so let's talk about what's at stake here over the next couple of weekends. Give me some scenarios based on what is the SEC, this brutal schedule, again, going on the road, taking on a very good Florida team.
Yeah, I think that ultimately, I'm not one of those people that's really going to pick A&M to lose a home series very often. So I'm going to say they win their 2 home series. And so I think this one ultimately kind of, I say this as assuming they win those 2 home series. But I think if you win this series this weekend, it pretty much kind of locks up the top 8 because, Florida has a really good RPI. Florida's a team that I think if you're playing kind of your game, I think you win the series just because I don't trust Florida to be locked in for 3 games. If you just kind of look at what they've done, they're always just a little erratic. And so, again, you go on the road, you've been to the box, and so there's nothing at Florida that should really intimidate you. So I think they win this series. I think their likelihood of being a top 8 here in a few weeks is extremely high. And again, it kind of blows my mind. I mean, imagine taking after the Georgia series that we're talking about this team maybe locking up a top 8 by the end of, by the beginning of May. I mean, it's kind of unbelievable, really.
Yeah, and here's another thing about that too is, regardless of what happens here, right? Like, I think the narrative, and I think it's going to continue. A&M's going to continue playing well. What it well looks like, are they a national seed, or are they hosting, or whatever? I think we can say that yes, this program is, regardless of what happened last year, is moving in the right direction, regardless of what happens over these next couple of weeks.
Oh, there's zero doubt. I mean, this isn't a team that's just hot. I mean, this is a really good baseball team right now, and they've played like that for 4 weeks. I mean, I think if they were playing like this for a week or two, but otherwise they had been bad or something, you could go, oh, this is just hot. But like, I think anybody that knows baseball can look at this team and go, man, this is a pretty good team. Like, they're working a lot of counts. It feels like they're never out of a game. And so, yeah, I mean, really the narrative has totally changed. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that, Mike Early is going to have a top 5 team in 2 years. But what I can tell you is that going into next season, no matter what happens in the postseason, I think I'm feeling a lot better about the direction of this program. And the other reason for that is not necessarily like who's in the catbird seat. It's more like, it's, when you win like this, guess what happens? Donors get more involved. There's more NIL money and things like that. So now if you're A&M, instead of going into the offseason, let's say you barely made a regional and nobody's really motivated, now you're going to the offseason and going, man, we see a lot of potential. Man, hey, if you want this guy and this guy and this guy in the portal, like, let us know. We'll make sure you get him. So I think from that standpoint, it's pretty important, too, that they've had such a seismic shift in terms of the perception of this program, both nationally and, frankly, probably equally as important locally.
Last thing for you, Florida. I know we touched on them, but just what's been their status report recently? I know they've been up and down. Tell me what's going on with the Gators.
Well, the biggest thing with Florida, I mean, it's the strangest team in America. I mean, they're supremely talented, but it's like, I hate to say it because, I don't think they're really like this, but it's almost like, do they plan to, do they just show up? Like, they're one of those teams that when they show up, they're really good. I mean, if you look at the front of the rotation with Liam Peterson, Aiden King, it can be the best, kind of, 1 and 2 starters in the country. With Brendan Lawson offensively, he's one of the best players in the country. But their offense tends to be a little up and down. And so, again, I think the plan, if you're A&M, is really the same as what happened at LSU. And I kind of said this last week. You got to take the box out of the equation. A&M is able to do that. I think in this series, I think you can jump on a team like Florida early. I don't think they play well from behind. Like, I don't think they're one of those teams that's going to just scratch and claw their way back. So I think getting on them early in this series, just like last weekend, is very important.
Kendall, appreciate it, buddy. Talk to you soon.
You got it. See ya. Thank you.
That is Kendall Rogers on the Bubby's Catering and Bartending Hotline. In case you missed it, coming up next, we'll have Sydney and Kaylee here in studio to tell us all the great things on the internet that I didn't pay attention to. That's next on TexAgs. I feel really good about this segment today for a couple reasons. I actually know the topic. I'm excited to actually hear the topic. So it's time for In Case You Missed It, Sydney Clevenger, Kaylee Dreyer. Hello. Hello. Let's party like it's on Northgate. What do we have?
So yeah, in case you missed it, there was a little online conflict between Ty Simpson and Bryant Haynes, the Indiana defensive coordinator, as well as the fans. So today we're going to talk about that.
So I haven't heard. I've read what was said. I haven't heard what was said.
We're going to play the clip in a second, but just in case y'all missed it, Ty Simpson was featured on Josh and Caleb Downs' podcast and talked about Indiana's defense, and we have the clip for you about what he said about that.
Was it surprising what they did, or were they as good of a team as advertised? I mean, they won, so.
I wasn't surprised when they won. After they beat us, we lost to both teams that were in the Natty, so I thought they were going to win that game against Miami. I didn't know how it was going to go against y'all.
From my point of view, right, I was like, they don't do much.
Oh, no.
I was like, they do the same thing every down. And so when I got the ball, I knew exactly what was going to happen. They just didn't mess up, bro. They were in the exact same spot they were supposed to be, and they were so well coached. It was so much different than the SEC.
So well coached, different than the SEC. If you would have cut his comments after the first line, they don't do much, I could see why the coach got offended by it.
Yeah.
But
that was going to be my next question.
I was confused too because it sounded like he wasn't giving them a compliment at first, but then he was like, they were so well coached. So I was confused.
Yeah. What I told OB in the first segment today was, I think it could be two things. I don't think it's a good look as an outsider. As an insider, I'm like, whatever it takes to motivate my team. If they want to get angry about that, let's go. I don't think it's a good look, though.
Yeah. But then, wait.
Some of the comments were funny, though. And
okay.
So we have one, and someone said, he was complimenting you. This screams insecure and makes you look dumb. Talking about Haynes.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yes, but aren't we all a little insecure? Well, some of us are not. Some of us, you would say, do I look like somebody who studies? And some of us would say other stuff. But no, I think all of us
Who would say that?
I mean, people who are very confident and people who are well-to-do.
That is true.
Compliments there. Inside jokes everywhere here on TexAgs Live. Not throwing anybody under the bus. Any other comments you want to read, or did we cover it?
One said, Alabama lives rent-free in your head. Kid gives a compliment, and you bleep out. I don't know if I can say that. Saban handled success well. That's why it kept happening. Hope this ends up teaching you a lesson. Basically, everyone is hating on Haynes.
Yeah, I don't think Alabama's living rent-free in the head of the team that beat them.
Probably
my voice cracked
not.
there. But not a good look. All right?
Yeah.
Well, appreciate you, ladies. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to party on tomorrow on the program. We'll have the fan show guys. Who else will we have? We'll have Aaron Torres. We'll have Coach Early. He'll be back. Thank you so much for everybody watching and listening. We'll see you mañana.